Alright everyone, stop for a moment. We have to submit the cultural festival proposal next week. No matter what happens today, we need to finalize a promotional poster. Alex, did you say yesterday you had already finished it?
I did. I'm telling you, this poster will definitely attract young people. I worked on it until 2 in the morning.
Every time you say definitely, I get a little worried.
Look at it before you judge. Don't attack me before you have even seen it.
Wow. Oh my god.
The design does look good.
Wow, it's great. That's like that kind of style that could go viral on social media.
Right, look at the layout, the front, and the street dance pose. Young people will definitely want to come when they see it.
Wait a minute, what is our event called?
The Malaysian Young's Cultural Festival.
Then where's Malaysian culture?
Aren't we Malaysian?
Stop arguing for the sake of arguing. The poster is full of coffee, street dance, suits, and English song. Where are the traditional clothes? Where are the ethnic dances? Where is the local music we agreed to include?
I left them out.
Why?
Because it looked a little strange on the poster.
Strange in what way?
Well, they didn't look modern enough. To put it bluntly, they looked a little old-fashioned.
So a Malaysian culture festival cannot include Malaysian culture because it is not modern enough?
That's not what I mean. I mean that young people now prefer things that are cooler and more international. We have to think about the audience when we organize an event, don't we? If traditional music starts playing, some people may slip away after 3 seconds.
So just to keep people watching for 3 more seconds, we remove all of our own culture?
We are not removing it. We are just presenting it in a different way.
You have changed the content itself. How can you call that a different way of presenting it?
Alright, stop arguing for a moment. I think the design itself is fine, but the final sentence, forget the past, is that go a little too far?
It's only a slogan. It sounds powerful. The past is over. Young people should create their own future.
But our future does not suddenly fall from the sky. If the theme of cultural festival is to forget the past, why are we holding a cultural festival at all?
Still, I also think we shouldn't accuse someone of betraying their roots just because they like Western culture. I watch Western films and listen to English songs too.
I never say people cannot like that. I listen to English songs myself. The point is that you can appreciate someone else's culture without looking down on your own.
But I generally think some traditions are outdated. Do I have to like something simply because it's traditional?
Alright, it seems the real issue we need to solve today is not only the poster. Let us make first one question clear. When young people prefer Western culture, is that simply a free choice, or have we actually begun to look down on our own culture?
Alex, let me ask you something first. Why do you see Western-style street dance as modern, but see traditional dance as old-fashioned?
Because that's what everyone normally watches. TikTok, Instagram, and Netflix are all more or less full of the style.
Exactly. Have you ever thought about how that feeling was formed?
I have seen it so often that it naturally feels that way.
The problem lies in the phrase seeing it so often. The films, advertisements, celebrities, and influencers we see every day often present the same image of successful life. Speaking fluent English, wearing certain clothes, going to certain cafes, and living in a certain way. After seeing this repeatedly, we begin to think, this is modern, this is success. Meanwhile, our own accents, languages, and traditions begins to seem less modern.
But that is only media influence, isn't it? You are not going to say that drinking coffee means we have been colonized, are you?
Of course not. Post-colonialism does not mean that everything Western must be rejected. Today, people may not say it directly, but films, advertising, and social media may continue repeating the same standard.
This is very common. Some people are extremely confident when they speak English, but the moment they speak their mother tongue or use a local accent, they become embarrassed. It is as if having an accent means being uneducated.
We cannot generalize though. Some people may simply be better at English.
Of course, I'm not talking about everyone, but you must have seen people deliberately mocking local accents.
Well, yes, I have.
After taking the photographs during the festivals, they know nothing about the history behind the clothes and care little about the language or values connected to them. Culture is eventually reduced to a photograph suitable for social media.
So you think that although we believe we are expressing culture, we may actually only be consuming it?
Exactly. Culture becomes a decoration. The attractive parts are kept, while the inconvenient or unfashionable parts are thrown away.
But even if the media influences me, I am still the one who chooses what to click. No one forces me.
I'm not saying that you have no freedom at all. I'm saying that free choices are also shaped by the environment. If every day you see only the one kind of being described as successful, can your choice really be completely neutral?
In other words, we should not ask only, do I like it? We should also ask, why do I like it?
Alright, then let me ask a question too. Even if my choices are influenced, I still have the right to decide how I live, don't I? What I wear, what I listen to, and what I believe should be my own decision. Being born into a particular culture should not mean that I must live forever according to old ways.
No one is asking your neighbor to change.
But tradition often puts pressure on people. For example, people may be told that they must always obey their elders or follow their family's plan. The moment they want to live differently, they are called selfish or immature. Should traditions like that also be preserved?
I agree with that point. A tradition does not automatically become right just because it has existed for a long time.
I never said all traditions are right. Some traditions certainly should change, but reforming them and throwing everything away are not the same thing.
At least liberalism reminds us that an individual is not a tool of the family or society. I have the right to choose what kind of person I want to become.
Individual freedom is important, but freedom cannot become a universal excuse.
What do you mean?
Suppose someone insults others online and then says, "This is my freedom of expression." Would that be acceptable?
Of course not.
Then freedom clearly has limits. You may make choices, but you must also take responsibility for their consequences.
But I only make a poster. I didn't hurt anyone.
Of course, you did not intend to hurt anyone, but forget the past suggests that the past has no value and only holds young people back. Would that not be courteous towards those who work hard to preserve languages, arts, and traditions?
And once many cultural traditions disappear, they cannot simply recover whenever we want. When no one speaks a language anymore, it genuinely dies. When no one understands a tradition anymore, it may eventually survive only as a tourist performance.
Does that mean everyone must participate in protecting culture?
It does not mean forcing everyone to like every tradition. It means that we should at least avoid labeling something backward before we understand it.
So individuals are free not to like something, but they may also have responsibility to understand it before judging it.
I can reluctantly accept that.
But I still have another question. Different cultures naturally hold different values. Some emphasize family more, while others emphasize the individual. So who is right?
Perhaps we do not always need to determine an absolute right or wrong.
That is what moral relativism would say. Different cultures have different standards, and we should not culturally judge others according to our own standards. This can prevent us from assuming the Western values are necessarily superior to local values, but it also creates problems.
What problems?
If a tradition generally harms people, are we allowed to criticize it? If we say that is their culture, so outsiders have no right to comment, then could many unreasonable practices be protected in the name of tradition?
That is indeed a weakness of moral relativism. Respecting cultural differences does not mean abandoning moral judgments.
For example, there is nothing wrong with respecting silence, but if someone interprets it to mean that elders are never wrong and young people may never disagree, that is clearly unreasonable.
Some people also use family tradition to decide young people's majors, careers, or even the way they live. That's no longer respect.
True, but we should not conclude that all family responsibility has not value simply because some people misuse tradition.
So, when we judge a value, we should not look only at where it comes from. We should not say this is Western, so it must be progressive. Nor should we say this is traditional, so it must never change.
Then what should we look at?
Whether it harms others, whether it respects human dignity, whether it helps people live together more successfully.
And whether it makes us more responsible rather than concerned only with ourselves.
In that case, both Western culture and local traditions should be open to criticism.
Exactly, the origin of a culture cannot replace critical thinking.
This is why communitarianism matters. Liberalism reminds us to protect individual rights, but communitarianism reminds us that people do not live in complete isolation.
But I really can make my own decisions.
You can, but where does the language you used to think come from? Where do your ideas about respect, responsibility, and fairness come from?
Problem from family and school.
And from society and culture. We do not first become completely independent individuals and only then decide whether to join society. From the moment we are born, we already exist within relationships. Family, friends, school, and country will help shape us.
Our culture is not only clothing, food, and festivals. It also influences how we understand family, politeness, and responsibility.
Exactly. If everyone asks only, what do I want? Never asks, what responsibilities do I have towards others? Then society will become increasingly divided.
But emphasizing community can also become a demand that individuals sacrifice themselves.
Of course. That is why the community must not swallow the individual. Individual freedom and social responsibility should limit and balance each other. We do not have to choose only one.
Sounds as if we have been looking for a middle position all along.
Individuals should not be controlled by tradition.
But individuals should not pretend that they are completely unrelated to culture either.
We can engage with Western ideas, but we should not assume that West is the only standard.
We should respect cultural differences, but that does not mean we should stop making judgments.
That is what a genuine philosophical discussion looks like. is not about standing on one side and shouting slogans. It is about recognizing that every perspective has value and also careers. Alright, let's stop talking so much. Let's just fix the poster.
I agree. We should delete forget the past. It sounds too extreme.
The street dance can stay, but we should also add traditional dances, local music, and elements from different cultures.
Yes, tradition should not just be as decoration in the background.
So it's not about Western culture winning or tradition winning. Both sides should be shown properly.
And we should show respect and unity. That would make it feel more like a Malaysian cultural festival.
Then what should the slogan be?
Where will you come from? Choose where you are going.
That works. It has both the past and the future.
Alright, then it's decided.
I already designed the poster.
I'll find materials about traditional culture.
I'll check that the content is not too superficial.
I'll add elements of diversity and unity.
I'll make sure the whole poster is balanced.
Good. Now this is our cultural festival.
Know where you come from. Choose where you are from.